Hey Fit Buzz Squad, it's Ashley Brockington from Team Thrive. So I had quick success as a coach. And by that, I mean I didn't know what I was doing, but I was hitting Success Club like 20 to 30 my first three, like 1 to 4 months. It just seemed like, oh, wow, I think I could do this. But one of the reasons why is I already had a platform and a larger audience. And so I think coaches that don't already have that need to realize that it's not like, oh, it's not fair. It's that some people that have that, they're just like they had a head start. But it's not because it's not fair or they were lucky. It's because they were already doing something. They were already working hard without the financial reward. So the reason I had a larger audience that was already in tune and listening is two reasons. Is I had several businesses that were running. I had several photography businesses, a photo booth business. I created a app for an iPhone, a makeup app. So people are always listening to hear what was new and what I was doing and listening to my pictures. I was on social media a lot, sharing my story and sharing my life. And then also a big thing is that we adopted 2 children within 7 months of each other. And so for a year and a half, like when we decided to adopt, until our second son, or it's our 5th child, our 3rd son, but our second adopted son, was adopted, I was like sharing my heart. I mean, just bleeding. And so people really felt like they already knew me. But that was a year and a half of like intense vulnerability. But then it was like 12, well, Facebook wasn't around from there, whatever, like 2008 or 7 or something like that. I had been like all over social media doing my best. I didn't know what I was doing. It was horrible now that I looked back at it, but I was there. So if you weren't doing that kind of thing, like it's going to be harder at first. Not harder because you're not doing a good job, because I wasn't doing a better job. I just had more people listening. And so I feel like I've kind of gone through those people, honestly. Sometimes I have people coming back, but I've moved on to like all cold market at this point. So that head start I got, that's all it was a head start. And you might need 4 months to catch up with that audience and building that story. You might need a year. And this is a long haul. I mean, if we look at like Melissa McAllister, she's making multi-millions of dollars. So is Lindsay Matway. She's done it for 5 years, like $3.1 million. Like that's insane for 5 years of work. So if we can't hang for a year of building an audience, this is a real business. It's not a lemonade stand. Like honestly, that's how a lot of people treat it. They treat it like, oh, I'm going to create this awesome business and I'm all about it. And then they go on the corner and they put up a stand and they're like shouting, or they're like posing with their lemonade or taking selfies with their lemonade. And like, that's not going to do it. That's not going to get you where you need to go. You've got to think smarter than that, and you need a bigger audience than your corner. Okay, so you have to think, how am I going to build a bigger audience? Well, there's different ways. One way is if you're going to do it on Facebook. One way is thinking of what kind of things that you really are all about. So maybe it's dogs. Maybe you love dogs. Maybe you love sewing. Maybe you love outdoors or kayaking or yoga. Then go on Facebook and find some groups like that. And just like you would check into a challenge group, every day check in to that group and comment on what everybody says. And make your own posts. Maybe if it's a puppy group or you have a puppy, take a picture of your puppy and post something you find at PetSmart that's cute. If it's a mommy group, then post some cool mommy tips or a cool blog article you wrote or you found on Pinterest or whatever. But engage and let those people get to know you and see you. Think of that group like it's like a like page almost. Does that make sense? Like you want to add value to that group. You're not being like, hey, join my challenge group. you're literally just stepping up as a leader in that group and letting people get to know you. And then they'll be like, who's this person that's always being great? And then they'll go to your Facebook page or wherever, and then they're going to see everything you have to offer. And it's going to feel like they were lurking on you and that they keyed into something cool that you were doing. It's not going to feel like you were going after them. It's going to feel like they were sneaking on you. So then you kind of have the upper hand. And if they friend request you, then you can be like, hey, I saw you friend requested me. You're from my puppy group, right? Hey, how are you doing? You're like, oh, I'm good. I just wanted to see what you're up to. Hey, no problem. Hey, while we're at it, I do these health and fitness groups. I don't know if you saw when you went on my page, but would you want to do that with me? I think it would be really fun. Just do it that way. So that's one way. Another way, of course, is looking through friends of friends. But when you do that, I want you to be like really picky and think, is this the type of person that I can see myself sitting across a table eating chips and guacamole with, or sitting by the pool on a Success Club trip, or being on a Zoom call with all the time, or talking on the phone, or them texting me? Do you have that vibe? Do you see that from their profile picture? If not, just don't add them. Don't go on. And then with Instagram, you can literally search for hashtags. You can look for accounts that are like you. So let's say, I'm trying to think. Let's say like you totally love Beyonce. And so you go to Beyonce's account. She's got so many people. It'd be better to have like a smaller one. But you go to Beyonce's account and you look at her followers, and then you just go through. And you just browse through her followers, and then you look for somebody that's like you. Or let's say that you are a military wife. So you look for some type of Instagram that has to do our hashtag that's like military wives. And then you look for all those people, and you just look at their profile, and you see what profile is like a picture, like a profile you would put up. And then you look through their, page or whatever, their posts, and you think like, yeah, I get this person. I love this. This makes me excited. And then that's who you try to start a relationship with. You give them hearts and you comment and all that kind of stuff. So building your audience, it's like I said, if you don't have a large audience, then you're trying to sell Shakeology and challenge packs on your corner street, when you really want to have like an auditorium full of people, or a movie theater, and create this like story that they're watching. Maybe a stadium is what you want, but it's all a numbers game. And so like let's say that 1 out of every 100 followers, if you do a great job, I'm just making a statistic, 1 out of every 100 followers, if you're posting really well, will come to you when you post a public invite and want to become part of a challenge group. Let's say that's the number. Well, wouldn't you want 200 or 300 or 400 or 500 or 600, especially if they're targeted niche, prospects? And then if like 1 out of 10 that you privately invite is going to say yes, wouldn't you want to have more than, the amount you have? So then you're getting like the organic people coming to you, and then you're also getting the people saying yes when you private invite, and you're not blowing through. So your audience is huge. Like, it's just a really, really huge thing that you need to concentrate on. And here's the beauty of it, is that you can put on a Netflix movie and you can go through and find followers that way. But I think it's kind of just like overlooked as something that's not as important. But I would say that it would probably be more important to grow your audience by like 100 a week than it would to like just put up posts like, look what I'm doing today, then look what I'm doing here. It'd be better to just do 3 really good posts that you kind of planned out and build your followers by 100 a week than it would to just be like posting 5 to 7 times a day with not enough people watching. So I hope that has helped. This has been like a big aha moment for me, and I'm 18 months into this whole thing. So I wish I would have figured this out earlier, how important it was, and how I should have just been way more serious about growing my followers, setting goals for myself, and tracking them. Please track your audience and the amount of followers that you have in all of your social media areas. All right, have a great week. I just want to say something real quick. I know that it's hard to watch other people be on the Success Club trip or on these trips or get accolades or, just whatever. I know that's hard because that was me last year, and I kind of felt like all my hard work was never going to be recognized or pay off. And it wasn't for a year and a half, really, at least not to my liking. I didn't get to go anywhere or do anything, but now it's like, it is. And so if you just stay consistent and you don't care what anybody says, or if you get enough of a pat on the back, or if you get to go on the trip yet, you will. That this is a job and this is an opportunity that does pay off, but we have to be realistic about, it's just not magic. We don't get everything we want from it. We literally have to put in the time that it takes to compound our business and just basically, wait in line just like everybody else does, because it seems like everybody else doesn't, that it's just us sometimes that is having to wait or it's not fair, but really it's not true. Everybody has to put in their dues. But like I said, some people have a little bit of a head start, but it's not because they're lucky. It's because they were doing hard work without any possibility or prospects or pay before. They just didn't have this channel or opportunity to funnel that story and those followers for. So if you need to catch up or make up, that's okay. Just figure out how to do that. Tell your story. Let people know you more. Add more people to your feed. All right, I will. I was gonna say I'll talk to you all soon. Hopefully, I'll talk to you all soon. Say hey on Facebook. Have a good week.